Snow Day, Part 4. It wasn't until Christmas time did events begin to change. The sisters had an unexpected surprise in store. Mum was in the kitchen and casually mentioned to the girls that she had bought the family tickets for a play. The play had been running since March and she had managed to get hold of the last tickets for one of the final performances in the area before the theatre company moved on.
You see, girls, the last showing is on a week before Christmas, so we really were lucky.
Yeah, lucky.
I'm really looking forward to it, Mum. Thank you so much. What's it called?
I think it's called The Elements. There's a programme with all the cast on and a bit about the plot on the coffee table.
I don't want to look at that yet in case it spoils everything.
A group of superhero types had to work together to save their planet from destruction from unknown evil elements trying to take over. It all takes place millions of years ago.
Mum, please, you're saying too much. I want it to be a surprise.
Okay, I won't say another word. What do you think then, Erin? Looking forward to it? You're awfully quiet as usual.
What? Oh no, it's nothing. But Erin wasn't being truthful. In all honesty, she didn't feel like she deserved to see the play. Listen, Mum, I don't know whether I should come. Bad things seem to follow me wherever I go. I might ruin everyone's night or something.
Don't be daft. You deserve a treat.
Do I?
Of course you do.
Erin now had the upcoming play day on her calendar as a day she wanted to avoid. The play was a week before Christmas. What if it snowed, she thought. What if it snowed while they were in the theatre and something worse than what happened on last snow day happened? Well, it's not my fault. They dragged me along, and I did warn them about me. It was dark in the theatre, and the last arrivals were quietly trying to squeeze past the already seated. Erin and her family were one of the late arrivals, which came as no surprise to Erin. Can you move it? Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Thanks. Erin noticed Maya was sat furthest toward the middle, her parents in between them both, and Erin had to tilt her neck a bit to see the stage as she was furthest away, sat on the edge. Erin came to expect that her sister would have a better view of the stage, and instead of getting angry at the injustice of it, quietly accepted that this was just the way things were now. She turned to see her sister's reaction as the dramatic music began and the curtains were slowly drawn. As the bright lights of the stage illuminated all the faces in the audience, Erin could see Maya was positively glowing with happiness. Erin couldn't be as joyful as her sister, but she had to admit the play had been pretty good so far. The play took place millions of years ago, when the earth wasn't fully formed. The natural elements were working together to make sure the earth would become what it is today. However, 3 nasty elements have come to destroy the earth. One releases a poisonous gas that dries out every living thing. One is an acid that dissolves the outermost layer of anything it touches. The final element can drop hail-like pellets, but 1,000,000 times heavier. Part 1 was nearly over. The entire audience hardly moved an inch. All were concentrating so hard on the stage in front of them, you couldn't hear a whisper. A nasty battle between the evil poisonous gas, which was portrayed as a woman in a purple costume, and the good wind, a woman in a bottle green flowing dress, was taking place. The woman in green had managed to fend off the gas, using all her strength to move it out of harm's way. She had succeeded but looked gravely injured. She sang a solo song. The lyrics to the song describe how she sacrificed herself for the greater good, and that she accepts a new wind must replace her and carry on defending the earth. She finishes the last line of the song and her head droops down suddenly and she closes her eyes. The curtains close to signal the first interval, and the round of applause from the audience is especially long. During their 10-minute break, Erin and Maya went to the toilet. On the way, they start discussing the play.
Don't you think it's amazing, Erin?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, come on, Erin, cheer up. Just admit it's the best thing you've seen since forever.
There's still time for something bad to happen if I'm there.
Oh, Erin, will you stop? Maybe me being there stopped whatever negative thing you were going to make happen.
Erin was as shocked as if Maya had emptied a bucket of water over her head. I knew it! I saw it in your eyes before. You think I'm cursed, but you also think you're more deserving than me. You must somehow think you're special, that you were destined for good. How can you be so happy knowing your sister's so unhappy?
It's not like that, Erin. There's nothing I can do. I've just accepted things for what they are, and I just happen to be luckier than you.
Erin had tears in her eyes and ran back to the theatre. Erin and Maya's mum and dad said,
"What's wrong?"
as they saw Erin run past, sniffling. Maya caught up.
It's my fault. I upset her. I'm sorry.
Well, we haven't got time to find out. We need to be in our seats for part 2 now.
The Edwards family sat down just in time. Erin had calmed down a bit and wiped her tears away with her dad's tissue. Maya kept looking over at her sister, not realising the hurtful impact her words had had on Erin. The argument couldn't be resolved now, for part 2 was about to begin, and there was a hushed silence in the theatre as the curtains slowly opened. Part 2 was just as intense as the first. Erin put her feelings to one side as the music vibrated around the theatre and up through the core of her body. The storyline had taken a dramatic turn. Water, who was supposed to be a noble character, had betrayed the other good elements and collaborated with the forces of evil. The evil elements had promised Water a great share of power, which Water greedily accepted. Water had flooded the land, deliberately causing landslides and earth to form deep sludge. The audience gasped as the twist in the tale was revealed, but no one was as shocked as Erin and Maya to see what happened next. A warning boomed out from the shadows, and the man who spoke the warning was surrounded by smoke. The voice boomed at Water.
Listen carefully to what I say. On the next snow day that comes your way, I'll say it once, listen now.
Erin and Maya both held their breath. It can't be! Those words that had replayed over and over in their minds for months. The lights on the stage illuminated the mysterious figure now so that the audience could see. For Erin and Maya, it was as if they were watching what was happening in slow motion. It was him. It was the man in the snow.
Things will drought indefinitely.
A boy in the front row whispered to his mother.
What does indefinitely mean? Like forever, the mum said. And drought? The boy asked. No water, now shh!
Your fate is sealed. How very mucky.
The audience started to laugh, except for Erin and Maya, of course. They laughed because the dog, who they assumed was a hat, had jumped off the man's head and charged at Rain by jumping on his chest. When the dog had returned to the man, its paws were covered in dirt, the stage was covered in mud. The dog was now filthy and lifted up his mucky paws to the man as if to say, "Look what you've done." The audience let out a "Aww" in unison, impressed by the dog's ability. It took a while before the laughter died down enough for the man to say his next lines.
Life on this planet is very strange, but mark my words, things will change. And with a little bit of frost, your side has lost.
And with that, the old man slammed down his stick on the stage. A white orb illuminated from the tip of the man's stick, and the stage turned black except for the light of the orb. The audience clapped as the scene finished. Erin and Maya shared glances, still in shock, both wondering whether or not the other had come to the same conclusion. The scene had changed from the mud-ridden stage before. The scene began with the side of good and evil facing one another in a final showdown. Rain had regretted his decision to join the evil elements and decided to fight alongside good at the last minute to prove he'd changed. He was trying to get rid of the mud with snow. Erin kept repeating to herself in a daze. She actually smiled and began giggling. The looks around her made her stifle those giggles. It was a serious part of the play. She said to herself again, "He was trying to get rid of the mud with snow. I can't believe it." Not that Erin and Maya were paying much attention, the realisation of the man in the snow weighing heavily on their minds, but good had thankfully triumphed over evil. The final song of victory was called "We're in Our Element." The chorus was repeated 3 times, and on the final repetition, the audience were encouraged to sing along too.
We're in our element, element, element. The air's still spinning, we're all in element. Now
element, for life has just begun. Element.
Snow Day. End of Part 4.